if keto and carnivore had a baby, what would it look like? We tried carnivore for 3 days last month, and it was kind of rough for Dev. It was easier for me, the just eat protein every day. And I even did like different varieties of protein so that I wouldn't get bored just eating like beef every day.
But yeah, it was really rough on my stomach, just really, it was just hard. It was hard to digest. Let's just leave it at that. It was really, not easy for me. And I didn't, lose very much weight. And it just was hard. Just didn't feel good overall on it.
Yeah. So we decided to create a hybrid, right? Yeah. So extreme keto or almost carnivore. So we created a hybrid meal plan for 3 days that had less than 5 grams of carbs per day.
Yeah, and the whole rationale for this was really, since it was so tough on my stomach, we were thinking if we could add a few veggies to it, it would be, easier to digest and better, and maybe we would have, I think Sue actually lost a little bit of weight on it. Did I lose any? I don't think I lost any on it, but I think you lost a little bit of weight. And her blood sugars were great. They were actually, they were as good as they were on the 3-day water fast. So we were thinking if we could capture the benefits of the carnivore diet that many people experience and that Sue experienced, and get rid of some of the downsides, we might have something.
So we put together a 3-day meal plan that was 5 grams of net carbs per day, and then we wanted to share what happened. The differences between keto and carnivore, for those of you who don't know, is that keto allows you to have up to 20 to 50, some people say, grams of net carbs per day. And usually there's like 70% of your calories from fat and 25% from protein, and then 5% from carbs, right? That's the usual macro breakdown. On the carnivore diet, the macros are about 50 to 75% fat, 20 to 35% protein, and 0 to 5% carbs. So on our hybrid, we actually tried to make sure that each food was less than 1 gram of net carbs, right?
Right. Well, and we just kept our meals for the entire day to no more than 5 carbs per day. And we found there's like a lot of veggies that have like super low, carbs, like arugula, some really delicious ones, spinach. They have under carb. So yeah, it was doable. But things like that make things more flavorful, right? We like onions, for example, have more carbs, so you sort of couldn't, and garlic. You had to choose between some of the things that make food more flavorful. But then, the spices you could just put in, and those are okay for carb reduction.
Yeah. So the first meal we had was smothered pork chops with shirataki fettuccine, garlic, and broccoli.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first meal we had.
And didn't the smothered pork chops have both? They had actually both onion and mushroom, I think, on them. Yeah, they were super yummy.
Yeah, that was delicious. I really liked this one the best, I think, of all the meals. So it was nice to start out with it. And the noodles made me feel like I was like really eating carbs.
Absolutely.
It's funny how those fettuccine noodles really feed that sort of longing for carbs.
Right. And these shirataki noodles, I'm sure most people are familiar with them at this point. But yeah, they're 0 carbs. They're made from the konjac yam. And 0 carbs. But if you get them a good brand, and prepare them properly, you have to dry them out in the pan, and then they really adhere to the flavors. Yeah, they're really yummy.
Then we had some salmon on a spinach salad with some Hero quesadillas. Those are the Hero tortillas that I'm referencing. I hadn't tried them before, so I just ordered them and I had to try them. I know it sounds kind of weird, quesadillas with salmon, but it was delicious.
No, it was really delicious. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, maybe it does sound weird, but it was a delicious combo, and you can see it in the picture. It's really good.
Yeah. And what would you say about how satisfying was that? Was that filling?
Yeah, actually, so going back to the other one too, going back to the smothered pork chops, super filling meal. And this one, again, like super satisfying, super filling. You know, you weren't sort of leaving this meal, especially with the quesadillas, feeling like you had like bread with it, but yet these Hero quesadillas, they're zero carbs, right? So, you know, there were no carbs, but you wound up feeling like you had bread and salmon and just yummy, you know, spinach. Yeah, super filling.
Mm-hmm. And then we had each of the main proteins twice in a day, right? But we might change it up a little. So then we had the next morning some salmon with a different kind of salad. It was romaine lettuce. Basically, it was romaine lettuce in this salad dressing that we make. We call it like crack salad dressing because it's so good. And it has like some mayo. It has some sour cream. Lime.
It has some lime, cilantro. Yeah, it's very lime forward. Yeah, and just some spices. So we had that salad. I don't think there were any other veggies in the salad. Maybe just the romaine, because we're, you know, again cutting down on the carbs, and then an egg, just a plain old fried egg on top. Mm-hmm. And then again the quesadillas. And I made mine into a sandwich.
Yeah.
And it was like super yummy. Look at that sandwich, and that it was like. The quesadilla had, you know, the cheese in it, so it was like this cheese bread around like an egg and a piece of salmon, and you know, the lettuce. It was like just this luscious, yummy sandwich.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And then I think we had a party to go to or something, so I made some turkey wraps out of the Hero tortillas, and there was turkey, romaine, a little red onion, and tomato in there. I just made these really simple turkey wraps so that we could eat something when we went out, and they were delicious.
They really were delicious, and again, like super satisfying.
I can't say enough about these Hero tortillas.
Right, flaky.
They are so good.
Yeah, flaky, delicious. Yeah, and I don't know how they did it. Zero carbs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no, the cool thing too is we'd found these other like tortillas that were very low in carb, mission tortillas. Yet they had some of the inflammatory oils, right? They had like vegetable oil and maybe some other kind of oil, which we try to stay away from too on keto. Try to not have the bad oils, and they don't have any of the bad oils either. So it's like a win-win with those Hero tortillas.
And then we had broccoli, cheddar, and bacon frittata. That was really delicious.
So delicious.
I don't know if I ended up serving it with a salad or not.
Well, I think when we had it because as Sue said, we did we did it 2 days. I think we just had it by itself initially, you know, the first time we ate it. Super yummy. And then, super yummy. Yeah.
And then for the last day we had the shrimp, what was it?
Hot link.
Shrimp hot link and spinach with the shirataki noodles.
Now these noodles weren't the fettuccine ones, though. They were the ramen noodles. Again, those zero carb. And it was so satisfying and delicious. Filling. Yeah, it felt like decadent, rich with all that shrimp and actually with the hot link we used one hot link, so a half each, right?
Right. Because a half a hot link has one carb
right.
already.
Yeah. So. So we did that, and Yeah, and it was like just a super low carb meal. We were able to have the Parmesan because again, that's 0 carb, and yeah, super yummy. Super delicious.
And reminiscent of gumbo, which is
Right.
so awesome to have.
Right, because
when
the
you're-
shrimp and the hot link kind of thing.
Yeah, and then we discovered some drinks that kind of made it more bearable. We made these lime mint waters, kind of sweetened a little bit with stevia, that made us feel like we were having little virgin mojitos.
And then in the evening, sometimes we had this other yummy drink. We were doing golden milk, and the golden milk, if you don't know about it, we had to keep the carbs down, so we actually did it with heavy whipping cream, like half heavy whipping cream, half water, and then you do some ginger and turmeric, and also pepper. So pepper to activate the turmeric, and yeah, those were just like lovely of an evening. It was
And a little stevia for sweetness.
Oh yeah, and actually a bit of ghee.
Oh, yeah.
Ghee as well. So it was like ghee with the milk mixture. Yeah, a little stevia for sweetening. Yeah, like we said, turmeric, pepper, and ginger. And it was like better than hot chocolate. It's hard to like describe. It was like rich and kind of buttery and sweet and spicy, like all the things. It was really, really yum. Yeah, so that kept us like, kind of in an evening, just like because we were still in the sort of tight window and with fewer carbs. Yeah, it kept kind of satisfied if you had that in the evening.
Yeah, we've been keeping to an 8 to 2 window. So yeah, it's pretty tight. And then, but I also thought this meal plan could be good for somebody who's transitioning from keto to carnivore, because you go from 20, let's say that's usually how high we go, up to 20 grams of net carbs per day, down to 5, right? And then you could easily go down to carnivore or 0 carb from there.
Yeah, or if you want to, like, you find that, like, as I did, that carnivore was really rough on your body, right? You could do this instead of carnivore. Actually, we got the same result. Sue got the same result, the same good results with her blood sugars. I didn't have any of the side effects of, like, my stomach issues. It was really, really digestible, really easy to eat, really satisfying. I think though Sue found it a little bit less satisfying, right?
Yeah, what was harder for me about this was the having to edit so much of my cooking. Like, I'm used to being able to use multiple vegetables, right? And
if we're eating vegetables at that time, right? So
yeah. But with the very, very low carb, I just had to limit it seriously. But I found ways around it. I used some garlic powder and things like that instead of real garlic. So
yeah, and eating it, I couldn't tell the difference, right? Like, so to me, it was just delicious because I wasn't cooking the meals. I was just, our second meal that we would have it, I would like heat it up and maybe change it a little bit different, make it like a different salad. I was doing breakfast and Sue was doing the evening meal, and I was basically doing like leftovers from the evening meal for our breakfast. And yeah, the eating, it was delicious. So I think, the dissatisfaction maybe made cooking a little bit more challenging and a little bit less fun, because Sue really just loves to cook and gets in her happy place there. So having to edit was tough for her. But man, I enjoyed it. It was like super, super yummy, super satisfying. Didn't hurt my tummy. And yeah, the same. I didn't lose. Actually, I think did I lose one? I lost 1 pound.
You lost
whereas
a
I
pound.
hadn't lost any weight on the carnivore. So even all the results were better for me. Sue had her good results with the blood sugars and stuff, and I stayed in ketosis. Yeah. So I'd say it definitely would be a good bridge. And what they say about keto has benefits with the gut health and the brain health, and that actually though carnivore supposedly it outperforms keto in weight loss. So if you're interested in it for weight loss purposes, this might be a way to go as well.
even though I lost the same amount with the carnivore as with the very low carb.
Right, so that actually is a good thing to know, right? If you're trying to do carnivore, but maybe it's hard on your body like it was for me. And I think part of the digestive issues are what made me actually not lose weight, and I was stressed out. So yeah, I think it's either a good bridge to carnivore or a good bridge instead of carnivore.
And tell us in the comments, if keto and carnivore had a baby, what would their name be?